So Hairline, a little earlier on the show, I misspoke. CM Punk wasn't there for the Cauliflower Alley Club Hall of Fame. He was there for the CAC Iron Mike Mazurki Award. He received it. He was the recipient. And
Nice.
let me just read what they wrote about it. And guys, we'll go through and clip out what he said and actually cover what Punk said. We got a lot of PLEs and shit.
That's the sizzle.
But this is what the Cauliflower Alley Club said. They said tonight at the CAC Awards banquet in Las Vegas, AEW star CM Punk receives the Iron Mike Mazurki Award, given to individuals who have made exceptional contributions to professional wrestling and have exhibited outstanding dedication to the sport, both inside and outside of the ring. Yeah.
Yeah, man, he deserves that shit.
Okay, so just before we get, so CM Punk accepted the CAC Iron Mike Mazurki Award on August 30th, the day before he was fired. The Cauliflower Alley Club Awards, he was there for a couple nights in Las Vegas, and he received the Iron Mike Mazurki Award, given to individuals who have made exceptional contributions to professional wrestling and have exhibited outstanding dedication to the sport, both inside and outside of the ring. So there you go. And then he gets fired a day later for having to smack a goof. Before we get into this, Dave Meltzer was quoted today saying, last thing on this, I swear, quote, throughout this whole ordeal, you and I, Brian, were far too kind to him. I mean, that's the reality. We were far too kind to him. I always gave him the benefit of the doubt. I always tried to give his side while everyone didn't want to hear it. They just wanted to go, oh, you're after him. Dave, we would have never said you're after him if you weren't not giving his side. You dumb fucking projecting fuck, narrative conjuring. Tony, I fear for my life. You guys have sabotaged so much. Somehow you have to fire Punk. You can't get rid of Jack Perry. Brian Cage got a 6-year deal. What the fuck's going on? Anyways, so CM Punk, he accepts this award, which he won, rightfully so. And I started timestamping the goddamn thing, but there's way too much, even just goodness. And basically his whole speech is, in summation, he's talking about just the business was different when he got in. Legends liked him. You know, it doesn't matter if fucking Jack Perry likes him. It doesn't matter if the Young Bucks like him. Fucking Harley Race liked him. Roddy Piper liked him. Bret Hart likes him.
Right.
Fucking these guys, Harley Race put him over before he fucking was ever in the WWF, you know. And he says a lot of really compelling things in here. I have a couple timestamps, but just him talking about how he learned from Tracy Smothers, he learned from Eddie Guerrero, he learned from these guys. He took what they said and let it alter the way he approached things. He never wanted to be in the WWE. You know, he wanted to be one of those guys who went to Japan and was super famous and came home and nobody knew who he was. And he thought that was cool. But he had a chance to go to the WWE and he learned from the people around him in that time. And that, yeah, basically, I don't know, man. It just shows you why he doesn't fit in with AEW. It's people who don't want to learn. They think they know better. They want a fan base of 100,000 people who go, no, this is ours and you guys don't matter. Yeah, let's listen to some of CM Punk.
But the basics and the fundamentals of professional wrestling are the same as they ever was. If it worked in the 1940s, it can work today. You just have to know how to apply it. And the basics and the fundamentals of professional wrestling were taught to me by Ace Steel. I started goofing off in a backyard with my friends in 1993, right? It was just something to do. I liked comic books. I liked stuff that got me up, beaten up in school. I didn't fit in anywhere. And in fact, show of hands, how many here are wrestlers? How many here have taken a bump before? Now, do you remember why you got into business in the first place? Because you loved it. You had to love it. Well, we're going to get to heart of it. Don't worry, we're going to get to heart of it.
You have to love wrestling. And the people in this crowd are all people who paved the way for AEW to even be a goddamn sport, to be an organization. You got Mickey Jameson's in the crowd. Nick Aldis is out there. You got fucking Teal Piper. and then a bunch of legends are out there. You got Haku's in the crowd, and they're all vibing with Punk, man, for a solid 40 minutes while he talks about this. And just listen to what he said. If it worked in the 40s, it can work now. You just got to know what to do. And he just said, listen, he's just like, dude, you have to love this business. Punk continues along. That was just his opening remark. He gets into why he loves the business and that. I'll jump ahead here to where he talks about Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero smartening him up. And he gives a little Bray and Terry tribute.
Promoters would call you, and Mickey knows, and you would get booked. And I think the first match that I would say kind of put me on the map was when I got to wrestle two guys, Rey Mysterio Jr. and a man by the name of Eddie Guerrero. And I wish Eddie was here. Yeah. Yes. I wish Ray was here. He appears to have left. That's fine though. I understand Ray. That's quite all right. There's a lot of people that wish were here. I wish Steve Kern was here. He's not dead. He's just in Florida. That might be worse.
Shooting, brother.
Sorry, I know like 90% of the wrestlers in the world live and are from Florida, so what do I know? I was fortunate enough to meet Eddie Guerrero. I think it was maybe 2001, and man, this guy changed my life. He was so kind and he was sweet. He was going through it. He had just been fired. He was going through a divorce. He was worried about seeing his kids, but all he knew was wrestling. So he was on the road. He was working independent shots. He was getting booked in New Japan.
Yeah.
And I remember meeting him for the first time and him looking at me and saying, I'm like three ways that don't make any sense to me. And if it's okay with you, you and Ray put it together and just call it to me. And I had very limited experience with going out and just kind of winging it. I'm an indie kid. We would sit down and map everything out from A to B. And man, if you got concussed or the ring broke or a riot broke out or something happened, you didn't know how to zig or how to zag. You learn on the fly. But Eddie that night made me realize how garbage I actually was, but made me feel like, man, there's so much room for improvement. And if this guy is willing to step in the ring with me wearing basketball shorts and Doc Martens, I need to up my game to show him respect. Because none of this is about me. I stand on the shoulders of giants, literally. I would not be able to do any of this if it wasn't for people like Eddie Guerrero, for people like Tracy Smothers. I wish Chris Candido was here. And I am now...
Yeah.
Thank you for
So basically, yeah, Hairline, I just didn't even want to interrupt or anything. He's just saying real compelling shit. I listened to this whole thing. He's just saying the message he's trying to get over here is like, listen, man, Eddie was willing to even work with me, let alone he taught me something there. Like, yeah, he was going through a lot and all he said to me was call it in the goddamn ring. Don't really talk to me. Just call it out there for me, kid. And Punk didn't even know that. He put it together with Ray. He didn't realize, oh shit, you can call shit in the ring, which he talks about. He learned with Tracy Smothers in a moment here, but he's just saying, look, man, he was going through a lot, but he said something to me and I sponged it in. I listened to what he said and I brought it to the ring. And he's just saying, I stand on the shoulders of giants. There's people who built this so I could even do this in my basketball shorts like a fucking cringe lord. You have to understand when Punk walks into an AEW, people are standing on his shoulders. He's one of these giants now. Do you understand what I mean? He's one of them now. Tony Khan was a little punker. He was a little Punk fan, and it exists because of people like CM Punk. He came before, man. So when he shows up and he talks, you need to listen. And I don't fuck your ego. Fuck your dumb shit. We'll continue.
I'm now at the age where, unfortunately, my contemporaries are passing away. Jay Briscoe,
R.I.P.
Wyatt,
R.I.P.
Two people who should still be with us. Two people who I consider to be young, still. Terry Funk recently just passed away. I was fortunate to know Terry Funk. Man, Terry Funk lived a life. I think if you would have asked Terry right before he went, "Are you ready to go?" he would have told you he was ready to go 10 years ago.
Yep.
But Bray, Jay Briscoe, I don't think they were ready, so I think it's important to remember them.
Fuck yeah, RIP, man. Punk is just, he's a class act, man. I don't care. Like Kevin Nash, oh, he might have real mental if it's going to cost him millions. It's like, dude, he doesn't care. Punk's never given a fuck. Yes, is it about that? Yes, but it's not always about that. Like, okay, Punk already has millions. So he didn't smack John Cena back in the day, right? He didn't smack fucking who came under him back in the day, you know? He didn't smack those guys because he didn't have millions then. He has millions now. That's why he's smacking people. He's like, I just don't care. Fuck you people. You know, like I'll just go home. I have a fucking big house, a hot wife, and I have millions of dollars in the bank. I don't need to deal with this. Like, I'm doing you a favor, AEW. I'm doing you a favor, Tony Khan.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, yeah. Anyways, so he continues on. He puts these guys over. Basically, I don't know. He puts over Tracy Smothers. Tracy Smothers taught him you can call it in the ring. Puts over Mickey James going, I don't think we were ever going to fucking make it. Puts over Raven, saying Raven took to me and he taught me like fucking a different type of psychology, like a different way to think and do this wrestling shit. You know what I mean? As well, you know, he's like, all of that rubbed off on me, etc. And he talks about Harley Race and how Harley Race took him under his wing. And I mean, Harley Race is the fucking king, dude. So
kid,
right,
looking at the lights going, why is Harley Race doing this to me? Every time I would get taken over in a headline takeover, Harley would come over and he'd go, what do you say? And he would stick his index and his middle finger straight up both my nostrils. and I was just a young 20-something punk kid looking at the lights going, why is Harley Race doing this to me? And if you've ever met Harley had legit hands of steel, and his fingers were like sausages. So to actually jam his fingers in my nose, it hurt quite a lot. Not as tough as Harley Race. Harley Race liked me for some reason, and I didn't get it. Tracy Smothers liked me for some reason, and I didn't know why. I never fit in anywhere before. Eddie Guerrero loved me, and I never knew why. Later that night at the bar, Harley Race is accepted.
He tells a hilarious story about Harley Race is taking shots and they put shots down around. Punk's like, I don't drink. And everyone's clowning him. He's like, I don't drink. Everyone's clowning him. I don't drink. Everyone's clowning him. So as a rib, Punk goes and he gets everyone a shot of milk. Everyone a shot of milk. And they put the milk in front of Harley. And Harley just turns around, looks at Punk, salutes him, takes a shot of the milk, puts it face down. Like, dude, those are real moments. You can never take that shit from Punk. So he's not going to go and listen to the Young Bucks barging into his door with Christopher Daniels. He's going to punch you in the fucking mouth. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is basically the point he gets at through the whole Cauliflower Alley speech. He goes on for like, I just wanted to play little snippets. So you guys, I don't know, man. This is Punk speaking in front of a room full of fucking legends and people who laid their bodies. So you guys even have these NBA salaries. You guys don't want to book Punk a fucking ride when he shows up in Wembley to the biggest show of all time. It's just petty, goofy shit. And you people saying Punk's a diva are fucking marks. And this Cauliflower Alley Club, everyone goes, the WWE Hall of Fame's not even legit. Okay, well, the Cauliflower Alley Club's pretty fucking legit. So that's all I'm saying, man. Fuck you guys. It's insane. It's insane you guys pushed Punk out of the business faster than WWE could have ever dreamed of doing it. And yeah, man, just shut up Punk. And I hope he comes back. All Out is in Chicago. We're going to review that. I hope he comes back to WWE.